back in tournament?
Hopefully. I feel good. Feel ready to go. Definitely took the time to feel better, so hopefully.
What was it that led to the injury? Was it something you'd been dealing with, or was it more of an acute circumstance?
Yeah, it was more just like an isolated event, nothing I was dealing with. I think maybe just like some things transpired in the game where like I guess I just didn't feel like I guess when I heard it initially, like I could think back to like when maybe like okay, maybe I felt like a tweak or something, but nothing that was like significant. It just kind of went on me.
How difficult do you think it will be to get back in the lineup? I mean, compared to where your game was at when you went out.
I feel like I haven't been out a ton of time, and I've definitely been skating a good amount. Like I didn't miss a lot of time off the ice. The game speed is always something that takes a bit of an adjustment, but not being out that long, I don't think it'll be too hard, and I just trust that I'll rely on what works well for me.
What do you know of Fraser?
He's a good player. He's obviously young, but he plays a bit of an older game. He's poised and he makes smart plays and understands the game really well. So I think he's doing really well.
What went through your mind last night when you saw Stolarz go down the way he did and leave the game?
Yeah, obviously you're just worried about him. Hopefully it's not anything major. Especially the way he's been playing. He's just been keeping us in games, winning us games. Just been an absolute backstop back there. So you never want to see that, and you just hope that it's not long term.
Max getting back into the lineup, having the game he did, what sort of immediate impact did you see him make?
He's just a power forward. He gets to the net. He's hard on pucks and plays really well around their net and making plays to the guys he was with. So he did a great job.
For a guy like him who early in his career was known as a real offensive guy, to embrace taking on a bit of a different role this year, playing physically, he was talking about how he knows what his role is on the line. What does that say about him in terms of what he's willing to do for the good of the team?
Yeah, it shows he's a good leader. It shows he wants to win first and foremost, and doing whatever it takes to be a contributor and fill holes on this team that maybe aren't there all the time. So he's definitely doing a great job of bringing that presence and bringing that style of game.
What did you learn about Dennis Hildeby over the time in the organization?
He's a professional. Right from when he came here, saw him with the Marlies, and he just takes every rep, everything to the maximum. Like even in practice, even after practice, if we're just doing like shootouts and stuff, he wants to keep every puck out of the net. So just a professional all the time.
When you're injured, obviously on a team with a number of injuries already, how do you balance that pressure to get back in the lineup with obviously doing what's best for you long term?
Yeah, I mean that's a good question actually, because it's always hard. You want to get back right away, but that's the hardest thing to balance with injury is trying to come back at the right time where you're not going to re-injure it. And I think that's the point where you know, okay, you can feel confident, you can push it, maybe you still have a little bit of pain, or maybe you're not feeling 100%, but it's at the point where you're not going to re-injure it and then hurt the team anymore, because if you're out again, then you're just hurting the team again. So just when you're feeling better.
Because Greg always says, you're ready to go when you say you're ready to go. I mean, did you put your hand up at one point and say, like, doctors give me a clearance, I feel good?
Yeah, it's not necessarily that you wake up one morning. It's always a progression, and there's always metrics that you want to hit with strength and speed and things like that, and how you feel on the ice. But yeah, I guess there is a point where you're kind of like, okay, I'm ready to do this. Like you feel it one day on the ice, you're like, oh, I didn't feel it through that turn, or I didn't feel it through there, and then you're ready to go.
What went through your mind when you got hurt?
Initially, there's always that frustration, and then you're hoping that it's not anything too drastic. You're waiting for the pain to go away a little bit and then kind of reassess. So always a bit of frustration, but it wasn't too bad.
Sorry if you said it before you joined late, but what actually happened to you? What happened on the play or whatever?
I just overstretched on a stride and just felt it through my groin. I think I just overexerted on something.
So they get the call and through your mind right now?
Always nice. Of course, opportunity, see what happens. It's going to be fun, yeah.
How do you see your game progressing with the Marlies this year?
It's been a little up and down. Got some things to work on, I would say, but we're getting there, getting into rhythm a little bit.
So would you expect to get one of these games on the weekend, or have you any idea how long you're going to be here? Or?
I have no clue. Got a text to be here, and I'm here, so I've learned not to expect anything really, just take advantage of the opportunity.
That text come last night for this one?
I got a text last night just to be ready.
When you say there was things you need to work on, what are some of those things?
I mean, it's a lot about. I feel like my rhythm, my timing, and a couple of my reads, like screen management, for example. I feel like just my depth, how far out I like, all a bunch of small things that I feel like I'm not doing exactly how I want to, but I'm not necessarily worried that will probably it's still early. So.
What's it like for the morale of the Marlies with so many guys held up and brought back and up and down with all the injuries here?
It's good. We got a good team. As a team, we've been doing incredibly well. Got a lot of wins, so it's a fun team to be in. And a bunch of guys with a lot of confidence, so that's great. Yeah.
Now that you've had a couple opportunities come up to the NHL, what is your comfort level like when you get the call up to join this group?
Helps a lot that I know what to expect, like, and know a couple of the guys like better, feel more comfortable just being around the team, which helps a lot. So yeah, I'm comfortable in the locker room for sure, but got a few things to work on here as well, obviously.
What stood out to you about Craig Berube's system and what she's kind of brought to this team in locker room this season?
Sorry. I think it's been good. Hard practices, a lot of like toughness, tough attitude, which I believe is good. But, so yeah, it's been looking good so far, I think.
If you do get into a game this weekend, how much did those 2 games that you played earlier this year help if you know you are called up to that?
No, of course they're gonna help me for sure. I mean, what those 2 games taught me was that I still have a lot of things to work on, and they gave me a clearer picture of what that is. So it's yeah.
How's your goaltender and his status?
Good. Well, I thought we got good news on him. Day to day right now. He obviously didn't go on the ice today, but we'll see tomorrow if he can get out there.
Do you expect him back next week? Sorry.
What's that?
Do you expect him back next week?
Stolars?
Yeah.
I do, but in saying that, like again, he's got to get on the ice, and it was good news overall. So let's just leave it at that. It's right now it's day to day.
What's your confidence level in Dennis Hildeby as the backup?
Well, he came in and played that great game in Jersey for us, and so we have confidence in him. Like I said, he's got a lot of ability, and he's got he's obviously a big man. So if we got to use him, I have confidence in him for sure.
And what's the chances Bobby McMann plays tomorrow?
Very good. Yeah.
What do you like about having him back in there?
Well, his speed and his size, I think more than anything. Another power forward in our lineup, if our left side, you look at our left side with Nyes, Pacioretty, Bobby McMann, I love the size and the power forward type player, up and down the wings, banging bodies, going to the net.
Is a guy like Pacioretty a kind of a role model for Nyes and McMann?
Well, he's played that way a long time, and scored a lot of goals playing that way, and physical player and hard to play against. Yeah.
Max has said that he's been down this road of injury and recovery quite a few times, and he's kind of used to it right now. But what does it say about his resilience for him to come back and have the kind of performance he did in that last game?
Pacioretty?
Yep.
He's a quick healer. I give him a lot of credit for what he's went through the last few years, and being a player of his age, accomplished what he's accomplished, and still wanting to play. And he's been a great teammate for sure. And there's great work ethic. To go through that kind of stuff that he went through with them injuries, and then fighting his way back, and then other things happen, but he fights his way back again. He's a fighter. It's great to see.
Greg, you were saying last night, we saw it. The offense came for you guys. How do you get the consistencies now to that going into the weekend and beyond?
Well, I think just staying with the program and what we want to do. I think shot attempts are huge in this league. You got to get pucks to the net, and you got to get people to the net. And we scored goals that way last night. And just practicing it, and we'll keep working on it and stay focused on it. I think more than anything, we got to keep the shot attempts up. That's important. And our D shooting pucks, which they did last night, on and off shooting. Not dusting it off, and then there's no lanes. And I thought our D did a good job last night on and off shooting.
What was the thought process behind going back to maybe a more traditional power play setup in practice?
Well, I think just, the 5 forwards worked for a bit. I thought it looked good at times, and then the last couple of games I've not liked it, so I switched it up.
If need be, what's your faith in Joe Wall if he needs to make a run of games here?
Well, he's played really well for us this year. I think he's been a really good goalie for us, so I got a lot of faith in him. I mean, I thought he did a good job coming in there last night. That's tough to do, I think. And I thought he made some real good saves for us. We gave up some chances in that game, and I thought he was real strong for us. And that one in the third was a real good save because that's a game saver.
After the game last night, Max was saying, he had a couple of goals and his head started to get ahead of where he used to be, and then he remembered that he was like straight lines. And if you hear something like that, does it make you feel like, okay, like my system's working, it's getting through the play?
Yeah, no, I think it is for sure. I think you're going to have, times throughout the season where they get off page and you got to get them back on page. And this everybody, not just one or two guys, and it's just constant coaching, and whether it's through film or practice. And but he's a veteran guy. He's been around. He understands what he is and what he has to do for the team to be successful, which is great to hear.